What's good, y'all? No, it's been a while, not that anyone has noticed, but I've been moving, got a new place for myself. You can probably hear it in the acoustics. But I'm moving and I'm thinking to myself, okay, the first thing when I get here is I'm smoking out the place, getting things right energetically. Everything was already very good energetically, when I was viewing the house, which is the reason why I purchased it. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, there's a lot of things that I'm doing and that I still have to do to protect my home, you feel me? And a lot of people don't know this stuff, but at the same time, a lot of people, have houses or rooms with like bad vibes, because there's all sorts of levels to protecting your home. The first, that's the most obvious, is physically. If I shouldn't have to tell you how to protect your home physically, secure your doors, get your steel, and a dog is gonna help you a lot. You feel me? But like, for example, a cat will help you protect your home spiritually. You feel me? And that's the topic of today's video, is how to protect your home spiritually. How to set wards in your home. So the first one, like I said, a cat. Not everyone's gonna be able to get a cat, whether their landlord permits it or they might be allergic to cats, but cats are great for protecting a space energetically. A cat can actually see in multiple dimensions. We can see in multiple dimensions, but a cat can see in many, many, many different dimensions. So when they're running around the house, climbing up walls, doing things that we don't understand, that's the cat doing its work for you. You should thank your cat for doing those kinds of things, as long as it ain't ripping up the place, you feel me? But a cat will scare away, small negative thought forms, you feel me? On a physical level, a cat will get rid of insects, cobwebs, mice, you feel me? And these are manifestations of larger built up negative energy, you feel me? So yeah, a cat is a great tool for protecting your space energetically. And let me say, you can cleanse a space, you feel me? Or you can ward a space. So by cleansing an area, whether it's with sage, Palo Santo, resins, you feel me? You're gonna cleanse that energy temporarily, because eventually you're gonna have to keep doing it. And as a magician, just as a person in life, we got so much going on that when we're continuously doing rituals, it's gonna take up a lot of our time. So by warding a place, we're putting something in place that can do this work repetitively for us. Yeah, you can put spells in plants, and that plant can actually do the work for you. You feel me? But that would be a topic of another video. So back to how to ward your home. The main things we're warding our home from is negative energy and just astral spirits in general. If you're ever seeing like shadows, things moving out the corner of your eyes, that's when it might be time to cleanse your home. You can use, like I said, sage, smoke to cleanse your home. You're gonna have to repetitively keep doing this. But one thing that you definitely have to do is make sure your home is clean. Because when your home is very dirty, you're inviting negative spirits into your home, as well as your home is a reflection of your mind. So by having a dirty home, you're gonna have a dirty mind. By having a clean home, you can think clearer. Your mind is clearer. You have more clarity. I'm gonna do videos in the future just talking about the metaphysics of the home. Different videos that I have, different ideas that I have not brought down yet. But in this video, we're focused on how to ward your home. So let's continue. We got cats. You want to smoke it out. You can use cinnamon water and spray the corners of your home. That's actually where a lot of the negative energy is going to be, in negative spaces, corners of the home. If you can't put furniture there, cobwebs may start to form. This is a physical manifestation of negative energy. But by spraying that with cinnamon water, not only are you going to keep spiders away, but you'll actually, if you have eyes to see, you'll see that dark energy actually jump and run away from that area, usually to another corner of the room. So, while you're going throughout your house spraying the corners with cinnamon water, and you can actually bless the water for a better effect, but the cinnamon will do its job. You'll notice that they start to accumulate into, whether it's a closet or just one dark corner in the room. And, you want to spray that out, make sure that you do this regularly. You feel me? Um, yeah, so those are rituals that you can do. So we can set wards by, like I said, filling up that negative space with furniture. Or you can use what I like to use, which is spiritual art. And spiritual art works better when it's created by you. But people who know what they're doing, if you have eyes to see, you can tell that this is a spiritual art piece that it actually has protection imbued into it. I don't have no examples with me right now, but pictures of the sun, pictures with certain incantations. And you want to be careful with this, because when you're using different incantations in different languages, and if you're creating it yourself, you definitely want to be able to test this out, because I've made artwork that's very simple in Hebrew, for example. I made artwork that's very simple that works very well. I've tested out some other things, and I actually had the opposite effect of what I wanted. I was having more spirits entering into a space simply because I was working with a language I didn't know. So, you want to test that out and make sure that it actually is working properly. The main places that you're going to want to put spiritual art, or just wards in general, are going to be doors and windows. Windows are actually portals through your house into the outside world. And these are entrances for spirits to come through. If you can see these shadows, if you can see these astral spirits, they go through windows primarily. Doorways, obviously, are entrances and exits for spirits as well. So you want to put wards next to doors. Specifically, your front door, this is where people are going to be coming in and out, or the primary door that people are coming in and out. You want to put something there to reflect or dissolve that negative energy that may be entering your home. First of all, don't invite negative energy into your home. No matter how much you ward your place, if you're inviting negative people into your home, it's not going to work. But the main thing that you can do in your front door, your primary door, is you want to put a mirror there. This is a feng shui, number one thing. You want to put a mirror next to your door that's going to reflect negative energy out. And you can actually make this mirror more effective by having a silver mirror or a bronze mirror. And this is gonna reflect more charged energy out of the door, right? So doors, windows, these are going to be the primary places that you want to put wards up. Other things that you can do is wards all around the outside of your house, right? For example, in graveyards, right, the way that they ward this space is they put iron fences around graveyards, and this keeps the spirits inside. Iron is very protective against many, many different spirits, and to some spirits, it's even acidic. It'll burn them. For example, I have these pieces of iron. You might recognize these as railroad spikes. And let me just say, don't take railroad spikes off the railroad. Allegedly, I received these on the side of the road, because at that point it's littering, you feel me? But see, as you can see, I've put runes, 4 runes on these, as well as a solar cross on the top. And these will be blessed with different incantations and then put all around my house to form a barrier. But you can do this with an iron fence. It doesn't have to be iron, but I found iron works great for Fae type energies, and I had a dream that inspired me to use this specific method. So you can create a barrier around your house, and you can test this out if you're a magician. You should be working with your dreams, but if you got into the ability to where you can actually see your home in your dreams, then you can see how effective this would be in the astral planes. Yeah, so let's see. We got cats, we got spiritual art, protecting the doors and windows, cleaning your home physically. Let's see, I got some notes to make sure I cover everything I wanted to say. Yeah, we broke down mirrors, smoke cleansing. Oh yeah, so the bathroom, right? The bathroom's an important part of the home. And once I make my metaphysics of a home video, I'll definitely talk about this more. But the bathroom is a place where you're going to purge negative energies, where you're going to clean yourself, you know. So this room is like a vortex for dark energy, or just negative energy in general. You know, you go there to throw up, you know, you go there to shower, you know, clean dirt off of you. So, you know, you want to make sure that this door to this room is shut. You know, this is another feng shui primary thing that, you know, everyone knows if you're studying feng shui. Is you want to keep this door shut to the bathroom if it's not being used, and when it's being used. But this way that energy doesn't seep out into the rest of the house, you know. Yeah, bathrooms, definitely. There's a lot you can do with the bathroom, but the main thing I want to tell you guys is make sure that door is shut, right? All right, so corners of the room, yup. All right, so yeah, those are some primary things. You know, I might make a part 2 to protecting your home. I might give you guys more tools in the future. But right now, I think that's some suitable information that you guys can use to protect your home. You know, like I said, cover that bathroom, cover them windows, cover them doors. Get the corners of the room with that cinnamon water. You can sage out a place. You can use spiritual art, spiritual protective talismans. You know, I'll give you guys a couple more talismans that you can use. You can use a medicine wheel or a solar cross, which is a circle with the plus sign. I just showed you guys it. This is a solar cross, right? Hold on. You see? This is a solar cross. This is also called a medicine wheel. You can use that. That will project divine energy into a space, into an area. You can use a pentagram. You know, that will also ward off energies. And another thing about the iron, you know, there's a reason that people put iron bars in the old days over their windows. You know, it wasn't, you know, to keep people in or, you know, to keep people out necessarily. It worked as that, but the main reason was that iron repelled a lot of these negative spirits, you know. So by putting iron bars over your window, you're preventing spirits from coming in through those portals. You feel me? Oh yeah, another thing I wanted to say about mirrors. I know I said this at the end of the video. I got more to say though. Another thing about mirrors, if you got a mirror specifically in your bedroom, you want to be very careful with this mirror, okay? Because mirrors are portals. You know, when you're looking in a mirror, you're actually not looking at a perfect reflection of where you are at physically. You're looking at a fourth dimensional realm that's almost identical, but it's reflecting this realm. So yeah, portals or mirrors are portals, right? So you can have spirits coming through mirrors. You feel me? So if you have a mirror specifically in your bedroom, you want to make sure this mirror is covered up when you're not using it, or you're going to have a free access point for spirits to enter your bedroom. Especially if you're having sex in front of a mirror, you know, you want to make sure that you've done some sort of protection with this so that, you know, energies don't move through this mirror. If you're having sex in a bedroom in general, you know, make sure that mirror is covered up. Yeah, a lot to do with mirror magic, you feel me? But those are portals, so you want to be careful with those mirrors, especially in the bedroom. Yeah, so I kind of got out of sidetrack, you know, some talismans, like I said, solar cross, pentagram. You know, those are your main symbols of protection that you can use. You can create your own sigils. There's plenty of videos and books and information that you can find for protective sigils, and you know, you want to make your own spiritual art using these sigils, and it'll become extremely effective. But yeah, I think that's all I really got to say. So before I go on another tangent, you know, that's the end of the video. Thank y'all for watching. This is how to protect your home spiritually. I might make part 2. I'm going to make another video on the metaphysics of the home in the future. I don't know when, you know, but yeah, I just started my channel, so there's not a whole bunch of people begging me for videos, but you know, I'm slowly going to build this, you know, in the future people will look back and be like, oh, okay. You know, we got a little something going on, so yeah. I will catch y'all later. Peace.